Who is your favorite celebrity in your country? I'm actually a big fan of Ngo Thanh Van, who is a very talented actress and also gains her reputation as a film producer. For me, she's totally an inspiration in the entertainment scene of our country. Do you often pay attention to famous people in the news? Well, I catch some celebrity news now and then, but it's not exactly a regular thing for me. If there's something big happening or some juicy gossip, I might take a peek. Would you like to become a famous person in the news? I would say no, because being in the news all the time isn't really my thing. I like my privacy. Having everyone watching every move just sounds overwhelming, so I'd rather keep it chill and do my thing without all the spotlight. Do you believe in the news about famous people in the media? Maybe not. With celebrity news, I have always got to be a bit careful. Different outlets may present information from their own perspective, so it's smart to check a few sources, or you might only get one side of the story. Do you spend a lot of money? Honestly, I'm not one to go all out and splurge money on everything. I'm more of a budget-savvy person. I like putting my money towards things and experiences that really matter and add value to my life. What do you often spend your money on? I usually spend a good amount of my money on the basics, stuff like food, housing, and education. Plus, I make sure to set aside some cash for hanging out with friends and enjoying the weekend outings. How do you save money? Actually, I'm a bit of a saver. I keep things in check by making a budget and tracking my daily expenses. And when I shop, I try to be smart about it to avoid those spur-of-the-moment buys. Did your parents give you allowances when you were a kid? Yeah, for sure. When I was a kid, my parents gave me some. They were pretty clever, though. They made me do chores around the house to earn my allowance, so I guess it kind of taught me the whole deal about working for your money. Do you like singing? Well, singing isn't really my thing. I appreciate music, but I prefer enjoying it as a listener rather than actively participating in singing myself since my voice is not that great. Have you ever learned how to sing? No, I haven't really learned how to sing. While I enjoy music, singing lessons just haven't been on my radar. I enjoy listening more than trying to perfect my own singing skills. Who do you want to sing for? Despite not having a really fine voice, I'd love to sing for my close friends and family. I believe singing for them would be a cool way to share good vibes and have a great bonding time together. Do you think singing can bring happiness to people? Yeah, absolutely. I think singing has this magical way of lifting people's spirits. Whether you're the one singing or just enjoying someone else's tune, there's this instant joy it brings. Are you good at memorizing things? Yeah, I'd say I'm good at memorizing things. Whether it's study materials, work-related information, or even just random facts, I have a knack for retaining details. It's actually been quite helpful. Have you ever forgotten something important? Oh, definitely. I think we've all been there. There have been times when I've forgotten important stuff, like deadlines or appointments. I've learned to use reminders and jot things down to avoid being absent-minded. What do you need to remember in your daily life? Every day, I've got to remember work deadlines, appointments, and all those tasks to keep things running smoothly. I often use calendars and reminders to help jog my memory. How do you remember important things? As I told you, I rely on my phone's calendar and reminder apps to keep track of tasks and appointments. Additionally, setting alarms can ensure that I don't forget crucial details in my day-to-day life. Is there any advertisement that made an impression on you when you were a child? Oh, totally. I vividly remember this candy commercial with a catchy jingle from my childhood. It had colorful animations, and every time it came on, I couldn't resist singing along. Do you see a lot of advertising on trains or other means of transportation? Yeah, for sure. Especially on buses and taxis, you can't escape the ads. They bombard you with all sorts of products and services. Sometimes, I feel it's kinda annoying. Screenshot. Do you like advertisements? Yeah, it really depends on the advertisement. If they're creative and tell a good story, I enjoy them. However, overly repetitive or intrusive ads can get on my nerves, so it's a bit of a mixed bag for me. What kind of advertisement do you like? I'm into advertisements that are creative and tell a compelling story. I appreciate ads that stand out and leave a lasting impression rather than the ones that just focus on pushing a product. Do you play video games? Sometimes. It depends on my mood and availability, but when I do, it's a great way to relax and enjoy some downtime. I like exploring different game genres and immersing myself in the virtual worlds. Would you watch others play video games? Yeah, I do watch others play video games, especially if they're seasoned players or if it's a game I'm interested in. It can be entertaining and a good way to pick up tips and strategies for my own gameplay. Do you think people spend too much time playing video games? Well, I think it varies from person to person. While some may spend excessive time on video games, others find a good balance. It's all about how responsibly each person manages their time. Do you prefer playing video games alone or with others? It really depends on the game and my mood. If it's a multiplayer game, I prefer playing with my mates. But for single-player games with a captivating story, I enjoy playing alone to fully immerse myself in the experience and storyline. Do you often feel bored? Not really, I don't get bored much. I keep myself busy with work, hobbies, and hanging out with friends. If I ever find a bit of free time, I just dive into new stuff or get creative to kill the boredom. When would you feel bored? I start feeling bored when I've got too much free time with nothing specific going on. It's like those moments when things get a bit too quiet. To beat it, I've got my list of hobbies to keep me entertained and shake off the boredom. What do you do when you feel bored? When boredom hits, I usually turn to my hobbies or pick up a book. Sometimes, I also explore new music or take a walk to change the scenery. It's all about finding something interesting or refreshing to do. Do you think childhood is boring or adulthood is? I don't find either of these life stages boring. Childhood is all about exploring, playing, and having a blast, while adulthood throws in more life experiences. They both have their own kind of excitement and are not boring at all. Is the city where you live crowded? Yeah. My city has its fair share of hustle and bustle, especially during peak hours. The streets, public transport, and everything gets buzzing with people going about their day. Is there a crowded place near where you live? Well, there's this cafe near my place that's always buzzing with people. It's like the go-to spot for locals, especially during the weekends. You can feel the energy with everyone chatting and grabbing coffee. It's a pretty lively place. Do you like crowded places? It really depends. I enjoy crowded places when there's a vibrant atmosphere, like at concerts or events. However, in some cases, like packed public transport during rush hours, it can be a bit overwhelming. When was the last time you were in a crowded place? Well, the other day, I was at this super crowded street market. It was like a sea of people. They all check out stalls and grab food. It was a bit hectic, but also kind of exciting to be part of that energetic crowd. Do you collect things? Yeah, I'm into collecting stuff. I've got this growing collection of movie tickets from all the films I've watched. It's like a fun way to remember all the cool films I've seen and the good times that came with them. Are there any things you keep from childhood? Absolutely. I've kept a pile of comics from my childhood. It's like a time machine flipping through those pages, bringing back so many nostalgic memories. And it's like holding onto a piece of my younger self. Would you keep old things for a long time? Why? It really depends on the item. I tend to keep things that hold sentimental value, like gifts or mementos from special occasions. For everyday items, though, I usually declutter to make space for new experiences and memories. Where do you usually keep the things you need? I usually keep the things I need in specific spots at home. Important documents go in a designated drawer while daily essentials are in easy-to-reach places. It helps me stay organized and find things quickly when I need them. Often lose things. Well, occasionally. I'm pretty good at keeping track of my stuff. I have a system in place, and I try to put things back in their spots. Of course, sometimes something decides to play hide and seek on me, but it's not regular. What can we do to avoid losing things? To avoid the whole lost and found hassle, it's all about having a designated spot for your belongings. It's a simple way to keep things in check and minimize the chances of losing stuff. Why do some people tend to lose things more than others? Well, it differs for everyone. But I guess some might have a lot on their plate, so it's easy to misplace things in the hustle, while others are naturally organized and tend to keep better track of their belongings. What will you do if you find something that someone else has lost? If I stumble upon something someone has lost, I'd do my best to track down the owner. If there's a name or contact info, I'd use that to reach out. If not, I might hand it over to a nearby authority or the lost and found section.